how's it going? Today we're going to be taking a look at the EcoFlow 45-watt portable solar panel. So I picked this up on sale actually from Amazon for $40. It was typically the sale price is $80 on EcoFlow's website. However, they had basically a half off deal going on, so I got this for $40, which is really good. And at the same time, I also picked up the EcoFlow River 3 power station, which I have made in a previous video, which I'll link below if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, so basically what this is EcoFlow's smallest, most portable solar panel that they offer. And it basically is the size of essentially an iPad or a very small laptop. But we'll take a look at it once I get it out of the box. So to just quickly go over just some of the stuff that it offers, it does have a 25% conversion rate, which is pretty good in the industry of solar panels. So that's a good percentage to have. It is IP68 waterproof, so you can have this out in weather and it can get rained on. It can get dust on it and it'll be totally fine. It is designed to hang on the side of your tent or RV. It's not meant to be propped up using a kickstand since it does not include a kickstand. So you have to somehow mount it on the side of a wall or hang it in some way. But anyway, so let's go ahead and open it up and take it out of the box. Okay, so there we go. So the first thing we see and are presented with is the accessory packet. And what you get here is an XT60i solar charging cable. And you do have to have this cable to be able to plug this panel into your power station. And because it uses the XT60i connector on the one end and MC4 connectors on the other, basically this cable and solar panel can be used with different brands of power stations. So you can use it on other brands outside of EcoFlow if you so desire. And then it also includes 4 carabiner snap hooks, so you can hang it up on your wall or something like that. Okay, getting back down in here, opening it up more, we have our quick start guide. Don't need to really go into that. And then the actual panel itself, right here. And there is the panel itself. As you can see, it is really small. Like I said, it's basically the size of an iPad or a small laptop, kind of like a 12-inch laptop size. And then we have right on the top here, obviously, the connectors, which are the MC4 connectors that are basically universal in the solar panel world. So effectively, this panel can be connected to anything that is MC4 compatible. And like I said, that could be a power station, it could be a different third-party inverter, or it could be just an inverter going into a basic lead-acid battery if you so choose. It can be basically connected to any of those setups if you want because of this universal connector type. Now there are 2 variants of this particular panel. So you have the standard one that I have here, and then you have a USB-C version, which still has the MC4 connectors on it. However, the inverter portion of it right here will have an USB-C output, so you can plug, say, a phone or tablet directly into it and charge your device directly from the solar panel without the need of a power station. So that is a pretty cool feature if you want that. However, I went and opted for this one because of how cheap it was at that $40 price. And if I'm going to have my power station with me, I'll just charge my phone via that. So really, it didn't make sense for me personally. Okay, but anyway, so we can see it has a really neat foldable design with a couple of snaps here. So you can undo this snap, and it basically folds out like a little book. So you can see it unfolds and it folds out all the way. I'm not gonna be able to get the whole thing in frame because of how long it is, but you can kind of see and get the general idea. So it has 4 separate panel sections, as you can see across here. So they're all basically connected in line with each other, and effectively if one of them gets shaded, so say if you put your hand or something over one of them, and it creates a bit of shade, all of the rest basically go down with it. So unfortunately, all 4 sections act as one single panel, which makes sense because of the design of this. If all of these were acting as individual panels, it would probably not be as portable as it is. So just keep that in mind. So you want to make sure that all 4 of the panels have perfect view of the sun and have adequate sunlight. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's made out of a interesting texture here, and I believe the actual panels themselves on the front here are made of tempered glass. So it's pretty rigid and fairly resilient to damage, which is great. And that also, again, helps with that IP68 weather resistant. And then folding it back up, you can see you just start from one end, fold it over again, put the little snap like so, and there you go. So you're back to being super portable, and you just put it in your backpack and you're on the road. You can be taking it with you. So now let's go ahead and take a look at how it functions outside in 2 different conditions, overcast conditions on a cloudy day, as well as one on a brightly lit full sunny day. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, I am now back here on a fully sunny day, again with the 45-watt panel, just kind of propped up on the ground here. You can see, if we look up at the sky, you can see full sun, direct sunlight coming straight down, no clouds at all. And with this type of conditions, as you can see on the screen here, we're pulling in 36 watts of input power. Now, obviously, because the solar panel is not 100% efficient, you're unfortunately most of the time not going to get the full amount of advertised wattage from the panel. So you're going to look at probably a slight percentage less than what the actual advertisement is. So in this case, we're pulling in 36 watts, which is about 10 watts under the rated input power for this panel. But that's still nonetheless pretty decent because this panel has a 25% efficiency rate. So because of that, we're losing roughly 10 watts, or in this case, about 9 watts of power. But still pretty good. And then this particular power station being a River 2 Pro, at 96%, it shows with 36 watts coming in, it's going to take about 10 minutes to charge that last 4% of battery. All right, I am now outside with the power station and the 45-watt panel, as you can see right there, kind of propped up. And this is just kind of to give a demonstration on what to expect on a fairly cloudy day with this particular panel. And I do not have good news, actually. As you can see right here on the display, we are showing 0 watts of input power. But as obviously you can see, the panels are out and pointed up towards the sky in the direction that the sun is at currently. And as you can see, kind of right there in the middle of the screen, you see the sun kind of peeking through the clouds. So we're kind of pointed directly at that. But as you can also see, that it's a very cloudy day. Lots of clouds, almost 100% cloud cover in the location of where the sun is currently. So due to that, and due to the fact that this panel is as small as it is unfortunately not able to capture any of the sunlight that may be coming through the cloud cover. So that is unfortunately disappointing, but is something to be expected with such a small solar panel. So now to give a little bit of a comparison here, I've now connected my 220 watt solar panel, also from EcoFlow. And it is obviously, as you can see, it is a much, much larger panel compared to that, as you can see, of the 45 watt panel that I just showed earlier. So it's a much bigger panel, and it is also bifacial, meaning that it can pull solar power from both the front and the back of the solar panel itself, which is pretty cool. But if we go down here to the display, as you can see, the 220 watt panel is bringing in 36 watts of total power. And that is basically the amount of input wattage that you would come to expect from the 45 watt panel on a good sunny day. So that's interesting. But it's obviously because of the fact that this panel is a lot bigger and has a wider surface area, it can basically capture more of the sun rays that are coming out through the cloud cover in front of the sunlight. And as we can see, it's kind of jumped up 1 watt now. We're now at 37 watts. And on this particular power station, being at 95%, it's going to take roughly an estimated 10 minutes to fully charge to 100% with that input wattage of 37 watts. So again, here's the sky. Same amount of cloud cover that was before with the 45 watt. Right there in the middle of the screen, you can see that is where, again, the sun is peeking through the clouds. But again, the clouds are nearly 100% of cloud cover, probably around 95-ish%. And so, yeah, with this 220 watt panel only getting 37 watts, that's pretty low for this panel, because on a good sunny day, this panel can average around 216 watts of input. So obviously clouds make a huge difference for your solar panels, and obviously the bigger panels that you can have on a cloudy day, the more power you're going to generate. And unfortunately, recapping, the 45 watt is too small to provide any amount of usable input power on a cloudy day. Again. All right, so you saw the results there. So from both the cloudy day as well as the sunny day, obviously there is a definite difference between the two amounts of light. So obviously if you have a cloudy day, the amount of output wattage you get from this particular panel is quite low compared to if you just do it on a brightly lit sunny day. As you saw, a brightly lit sunny day gives you nearly the full capacity of what the panel can offer. So, but anyway, that is basically it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, it's greatly appreciated. Drop a like below, I also greatly appreciate that. And if you guys have any questions or need help or just want a general comment, drop that down below as well, and I will help you guys out the best I can. And I will see you guys in the next one.